Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm taking advantage of the really nice weather out to repot some stuff, and I think I might try and make an aroid mix, which is essentially a lot better draining, a lot more aeration in the soil. And I kind of thought I might want to try this out just because my ring of fire philodendron here, I put it in just some normal potting soil. I like to use a Pro Mix myself, which is, I love it for most houseplants, but I think it might dry out a little bit too much for my philodendrons, and this guy hasn't grown that much. It might help him out, and I have a bunch of other aroids and a few other things that I might want to pot up. So yeah, first things first, I'm gonna make some aroid soil. And there's a whole bunch of great recipes other YouTubers have done, and if you search some of the aroid forums that it might be around, aroid societies, they give you some general recipes. But I think the one thing with plants and gardening is you gotta find out what works for you, gotta experiment, and I'm not a baker. I don't like to measure things, I love to cook. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it tonight. I'm gonna throw in some of the general ingredients that are considered great for an aroid mix, and kind of just experiment with ratios to see what I like. I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna eyeball it. That's how I do. I'm gonna mix it in here. It's probably gonna be a lot more than I need tonight, but that's alright. So what I just added was some of that Pro Mix, which is kind of going to be my base, I think. And then I broke down, because I had nothing really better to do this afternoon, I broke down some bark, which maybe this is too much soil. I don't know. Let's see. When in doubt, backtrack it out. Yeah, it looks a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, these nuggets were quite large to start with, so I cut it down, broke it down into a little bit more manageable chunks, something that I think will be pretty good. And you can get a lot of different bark fines, different grades, through your probably local garden centers, probably even the big box stores. Oftentimes you'll find it labeled as orchid bark. You could probably get just a regular old bag of bark, just so long as it's not ginormous nuggets, you should be okay. And this probably is pressing it as far as size goes, to be honest. And one thing about aroids is that they grow in very barky situations. Sometimes, like I said in the aroid video, they grow up trees, they grow in rainforest with a lot of nice organic matter. So I'm just kind of feeling my way around, seeing what I like. I'm probably going to use up a good portion of this bag. And the only ingredient I don't have that a lot of aroid mixes call for is activated charcoal. I don't have it. I don't know how critical it is for the mix. Again, it's probably a preference thing. The charcoal is supposed to help with binding any bad bacteria that might be in the soil and sweetening the mix a bit. Next, I have some perlite here. And this is going to help with the drainage. You guys probably see this quite frequently in regular potting mixes. Don't breathe the dust in. Pro tip there. And the potting soil mix I have already had some of it in there, but I'm just gonna add more for extra drainage.
So do this outside.
So yeah, do this in a well-ventilated area. And like I said, I'm experimenting. If the soil doesn't do great, I will repot my plants yet again. Well, I'm only repotting one plant. The rest of them have pretty much been in their containers since I got them. All of these were from Glass Houseworks, and I personally like to let my plants rest a little bit. Coming in the mail like they did, I think it's stressful for them. So I gave them a week or so to acclimate. And some recipes did call for more peat moss, which my Pro Mix is pretty heavy in peat moss, but this is just some sphagnum. I thought I would add a little bit because I have a little bit. So this is gonna help with moisture. I'm just breaking up some of it because there's some large chunky wonkies. That was. I have some particle in my eye. So I'm not trying to wink creepily at y'all, it's just...
Yeah, she is.
Oh, it's very uncomfortable. Boyfriend, can you...
Do you want some help?
Can you...
Let me just...
Corner of the eye. No, inside corner.
Cup. The cup.
Okay, I'm slightly OCD. Would you touch my other eye just to make it even?
Poke, 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 poke.
Okay. It's true! If one side of my nose itches, I itch it, and then I just have to itch the other side to balance it out.
I'll poke you in your other eye all day. That's solid. Hell yeah.
Fluff. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. I'm debating if I want to use any cocoa fiber or not. Some recipes use it, some do not. Cocoa core. You know what? I accidentally just dropped some in there, so I'm just gonna add a little bit.
Yep. Yep. I like it.
I'm just gonna use this all up because there's not much. Oh, look, there's scissors over here. I'm not a person that is known for being very patient, so measuring things is detrimental to my health a lot of times. Unless it's chemicals, in which case, kids, measure your chemicals.
Measure that shit.
Okay, so this is kind of what I'm working with right now. Hey, photog boy, do you want to zoom in now? Pretty nice and fluffy, I think. So I'm gonna give it a whirl. Again, experiment, kids. Now, the things I have to repot.
Make a bedding out of this. I'm gonna take a nap.
Are you a little woodland creature, Ginger?
So soft.
So this is my painted lady philodendron, and I got this a while back. We don't live in a great neighborhood. So this soil, I'm not quite sure what was used, but it seems to be holding the moisture an awful lot. So whatever they used maybe wasn't the best. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get rid of a bit of it. I'm excited to see if this soil works nicely for my aroids, or if this is a life lesson that I need to be more patient and follow directions and recipes.
Nah.
Even if it was, I'm not sure I would. Yeah. I'm old, but I'm not that old to learn my lessons. So this is my little painted lady. And I just want to show you the brand new leafy weefy that just emerged today. She's a sneaky painted lady. So there's one down. Hopefully I have enough. I think I do. Oh yes, my big boy. And so I've been giving this way too much thought as to what I want to plant my Jose Bueno philodendron in, just because it's quite tall, so I want a pretty nicely sized pot, but at the same time the roots seem to be quite small, so I don't want to put it in anything too big too soon and risk rotting it out. So this is kind of my conundrum. Oh, this pot's gonna be, this is amazingly cool pot, but it's gonna be a pain to try and repot something from it one day. Just because of that tapered side. So I think I'm gonna go with just my standard terracotta. And terracotta is great for wicking away moisture. So if you overwater something, it will help get rid of it. It's also very porous, so air circulation. A little shard of pottery to just keep it from falling out. Thank you, camera boy.
Yep. Crunch. Crunchy boy.
That scares me, that sound. So I don't want to just rip it out, but sometimes you have to break your planter to get some out. Look at that roots. It's not too bad. Root system. So I'm just gently fondling these roots. I don't want to break it up an excessive amount, disturb it. I think that's alright. I think I'd like living in this type of soil if I were a plant. Might have been slightly on the deep side. a little bit of soil from the base of there. So here's Jose Bueno. So excited about this one. This leaf came in a little bit damaged. I didn't notice it in my state of ecstasy upon first seeing it, but it did come in a bit damaged. He's okay for now, but as the leaf starts to die, I'll probably eventually chop. I will be watering this in later. That scares me right at the edge. I'm gonna... Okay, so here is my Splash Gordon Philodendron. And this is a bipedifolia. Who do I want to plant him in? That's not terrible. What do you think?
Small boy.
This one?
Yep. Terracotta.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold the phone.
Hold it.
Hold it. Okay, so I have this guy, my cissus. Can't remember the species, albonidans. So this is a trailer. I'm not gonna see the pot, so I'm thinking, okay? So this is my kalanchoe, and this is a very succulent plant, and the soil is kind of nasty. So I'm thinking I'll put him in the terracotta because he needs it a little bit more than the others. So for this guy, which is very succulent, I'm just going to use my Schnactus soil. Okay, the soil he was in stayed quite moist, which probably isn't a good thing long term for him, so put him in the succulent cacti soil, which helps drainage because it has a lot of pumice. This is what pumice looks like, guys. It's grit, essentially. So this soil will help him dry out, plus the terracotta is great for that as well. Okay, moving on. I really want to replant my Ring of Fire Philodendron. Like I said, there's been times where just suddenly he's very, very dry.
Dry boy.
Just gently slough off some of this. That's all I'm gonna take. I don't want it to distress him too much. So I had a viewer ask for an update on this guy. I'll show you what it looks like up close. Hasn't grown much since I got him. I might eventually want to put him in my bathroom, which is more humid. And I am gonna be getting a rack soon that I'm gonna put my humidifier on to help. So if it doesn't go in the bathroom, it's probably gonna go on that rack just to help with humidity. And this soil dries out really quick. That's why I'm seeing if this soil might be a little bit better for most of my aroids, both current and future. So I think I did.
Cat fight.
I think that was Clint or somebody in their house.
Is the front door locked?
Yeah. Okay, that's just our roommate. It's not a burglar.
Look at that shit.
Fucking Sasquatch in the plants.
Motherfucker.
Fear not, we are not about to get murdered on camera. It's eventually going to be very difficult to get this plant out, but I think it's such a cool pot, and I kind of like that look in there together. So I'm going to do it. Oh, look at how healthy those little rooty tooties are. Can you see those right there? Take a little bit out. It's very mushy. Again, I don't want to disturb the roots too dreadfully, but you gotta get some of that soil out. That's him. Back. Just potted him up. And where I want to put this guy, it's not gonna really be visible, the pot, because it's gonna be macrame. So I might just put it in this little plastic pot for right now. And I'm not 100% sure what the cissus likes as far as soil is concerned. I believe they do have a lot of air roots, so maybe this aroid mix will be perfectly fine for it. Anyway, I've got a lot of it, so I'm going to be using it.
Fancy dirt.
My little cissus. And then my last one, my Monstera siltenpancana. And this guy has been drying out so fast. I probably have to water him every other day. He is in my sunroom, which is admittedly quite hot this time of year, but I think he might need to be repotted anyway. So one momento. I'm putting another little bit of terracotta at the base, just to keep all the soil from spilling out. And this pot might be slightly on the large side for him, but at the rate he's been growing, I think he's going to adjust to fit into it pretty quickly. And I gently teased the roots, but I didn't do a whole lot of fiddle-faddling around with it. I'm still debating if I want to stake this guy or let him trail. That's my Monstera, Sultan Pecana. And all I see when I see all these little nodes, cuttings, more
Gee.
plants, cuttings. So, got a couple other neat pots here. I'm gonna have to find some new plants to fill them, so hopefully you'll see a haul video soon and then repotting these. And I think I potted up everyone. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated on this mix, if you can even call it that. It's kind of like mom's casserole. You just throw things in here and see what happens. But I'll keep you posted and see if it's a pretty good mix, and if I like it, if I'll continue to use it, or if I'll switch it out for something else. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Fancy dirt. Fancy dirt.